Hi, and welcome to the latest video of the Target Individual Program. Just doing this video as an update review of my targeting, and also to let other TIs know some of the tactics that our perpetrators are doing to us. So again, constant threat of incarceration by the police. Then I had went to file for disability benefits because of my so-called diagnosis, right? And when I was interviewing with the psychiatrist, he was targeting me. As he was speaking to me, he kept sticking his tongue out of his mouth. Then I received a letter yesterday, which was Saturday, from the Social Security Administration office, stating that they have not received the documents that they claim to have sent to my doctor, to one of my doctors, for him to fill out so they can process my claim. Now, they had sent me a letter before stating the same thing, and I had called the Social Security admin, the person who was working on my claim, spoke to them, and they said that they sent the forms out and they did not receive anything back from the doctor. So I called the doctor and I said, did you receive anything from Social Security admin with some forms that you have to fill out for my claim? And he told me no, he did not receive anything, and if they had sent it, and if they will send it, he will fill it out. So I called back the Social Security admin office, spoke to the person that was handling my claim, and I asked her to send the forms again to my doctor. And she said, okay, she will. Now yesterday I received another letter from the Social Security admin stating that this is the second time they had sent the forms out to my doctor, and they never received the forms back, and there would be a delay in terms of processing my claim. So I called the doctor's office, spoke to his assistant. The assistant told me that she never received any documents from Social Security Administration, and so now I'm like, okay, well, who is lying here? Who is lying? Is it the person's handling my claim, claiming that that she had sent out the first form, and when I asked her to send out the second form, she said that she would send it out, or someone in my doctor's office, or is the mail carrier, not delivering the mail from the Social Security office to the doctor? Now, we know as a targeted individual, they basically tamper with our mails. And the fact that they have been psychologically torturing us, as well as electronically and using directed energy weapons on us, that, for some reason, when we talk about our experience in this program, we're diagnosed with a mental illness. We're blacklisted out of our professions. We're a job mob. We have constant on-the-job harassment for those of us who are working, like I used to be working, and I went through 10 years of on-the-job mobbing. And for those who don't know what mobbing is a psychological targeted program in the workplace where the employer and employees gang up on an individual to psychologically harm them and to drive them out of the workplace. So that's what mobbing is. So again, now I have to personally go down to the Social Security Administration office, get the forms myself, and hand deliver it to my doctor, get the forms from him, and take it back down to the Social Security office. That way they cannot claim that they send the forms out and they did not receive it. And that way, if the doctor cannot claim that he did not receive the form. So, So today I'm doing laundry, and again, I step out my apartment building, and of course they have a perpetrator standing there waiting for me. And as soon as he sees me, he walks, he turns around, walks towards his car, open up his trunk, and as I walk by, he closes his trunk. Wasn't looking for anything in the trunk at all, okay? And, you know, they use color to target me. So his car was a gray car, okay, because they could have used any other perps on the block to target me, but they like to target me with particular colors. And in this case, his car was gray. So he opened up the trunk, like I said, didn't look for anything in it, and then closes it as I walk by. So that goes to show, that tells me that probably as I was sleeping last night, that they psychologically conditioned me with possibly a negative thought, okay? So that when that action occur, that something would trigger, that would be the trigger, and some anchor would, I guess, maybe something I would be thinking, or something that they had words or emotions, negative thought pattern would surface into my conscious mind. Okay, because this is what they do when you're sleeping. They program you through your subconscious using what is called silent sound, or silent subliminal, or even voice to skull. Okay, and so that is what happened. And I guess because the past 2 days, I think, you know, the target have been very subtle. Sometimes they'll try to be very subtle because I do fight back, okay? And I don't fight back physically, I don't fight back verbally, I fight them back psychologically. So I know when I fight them back, it affects them. So they've been kind of on the low key. But today, you know, I guess, like I said, you know, these people use what is called hit and run tactics. So whenever it's appropriate for them to attack me in a psychological manner, they will do it, and then they'll run back into their hole and hide. Okay, and so, you know, this week, you know, I'll see how the harassment goes, because this is the week that's going to lead up to the weekend to where I have to go and get my son. And usually that's when I experience my heaviest targeting, was when that occurred, because, you know, they don't want me to go pick up my son and spend time with him, because of course they try to condition me negatively, okay, using Doc NLP, a neuro linguistic programming, to try to get me to behave in a negative manner, okay, while trying to make me believe that if I do behave that way, that somehow I will be rewarded, you know, with a job or with money or something, you know, woman, you know. This is all brainwashing. That's basically what it is about. So if you look up brainwashing, you know, they do the same thing with I guess these extremist Muslim people, where, you know, they get them to carry out, you know, these heinous crimes because they promise them, you know, to get into heaven, and they'll have 100 wives or what have you. And so they indoctrinate those people into doing all sorts of heinous crimes, okay, just because they've been indoctrinated and brainwashed. But I've fought them for the last 10 years, and I've recognized and understand the tactics that they're using. And also, let me just make a quick statement about the Washington Navy Yard shooter, Aaron Alexis, who claimed that he was being hit with directed energy weapon or low frequency microwave weapons. Okay, people like to doubt those things, but the government have been doing research, particularly the Navy and the Department of Defense, on what is called non-lethal weapons. Also, they have developed, okay, weapons in which that they can put words, thoughts into your mind on a subvocal level, okay, meaning that they don't have to speak to you. Okay, what the technology does is that it bypasses the ears and goes directly into the brain. And, you know, from my experience in this target, they have used that on me, transmitting sound. And when they do that, I usually get a lot of ringing in my ears. There's also the technology that's being used on me called remote neural monitoring, and where they monitor your mental activity. They can basically peer into your mind, okay, to tell what you're thinking, whether it be thinking about a particular person, a place, thinking about where you're gonna go. And so if I'm saying, okay, I'm gonna go to the movies, and I'm not telling anybody this, I'm just thinking it out loud in my mind. When I go to the movies, they will have people in front of the movie theater give me the thumbs up. And this was pretty long ago. I haven't been to the movies in quite a while, okay? And, whatever they may try to do, whatever they may try to undo, the fact is that, they're still psychologically harassing me. They have psychologically damaged me because, and also with isolation, which is another tactic in brainwashing, isolation and sleep deprivation. They wake me up numerous times during the night with noise campaigns, and also with the silent sound, in which I get up multiple times during the night. And also when I get up and I look at the time, it's at a particular minute, okay? Not a particular hour, but it's always at the same minute, whether it be like 12:02, 1:02, 3:02. When I wake up, it's always at those particular time. And that, what I just stated, the time may not be the exact time, but it's just that the minute is always the same. Okay, the hours might be different, but I wake up at the exact minute, multiple times during the night. Okay, so those are things that they use. And so just want those targets to be aware that if you are applying for Social Security disability, because if you are diagnosed with a mental illness, they will do everything possible to try and deny you that claim, because the fact is that as a target, they want to destroy our life, which they've, for the most part, they've done to a lot of us. Okay, and when we go to try to get on disability, okay, they do everything in their power to deny us and to send us subliminal threats about being killed or being arrested and stuff like that. And so my perps who like to use this finger as a trigger, because when I was working, when I used to leave my work, there was a plainclothes police officer who would always be in the front of, inside my job, the building, the place where I work, standing in the doorway, and he will always have this finger pointed. Okay, so this they use as a trigger, okay, in which there is an anchor, which is a memory in my mind of that particular police officer using this finger. Okay, so at the time I didn't know I was being conditioned, but until years later I realized that from learning about neuro linguistic programming, that they can condition your mind using triggers to anchor an emotional response, or even a person or a place, okay, or a particular thing. All right, so they love to use this finger to trigger whatever emotions or whatever thought. And and every time they do this, yeah, I do think back about that police officer. But you know what? This police officer that they like to do this with, what have you, is a coward, because they can't face me. So they have to send their little perps, their little perpetrators who think that they are so important because they belong to this cult, okay, and that's what they are. The people who participate in the type of program, they are a cult, because it is a destructive cult, because they're destroying people's life, and we all know the government, is one of the biggest cults in this society that there is, okay, and so they create these programs, and these programs are not new. So to all the targets out there, just be strong. Fight them in a manner in which they don't like, which is psychologically, okay, not physically, not verbally. Don't yell at them. Don't fight them physically, anything like that. Fight them back psychologically, okay, and give them a taste of their own medicine. Okay, that's all for now.